Hey everyone, Jamie Pate here. Welcome to this video. Today am going to, if you haven't looked at the title already, I want to process through story 2 in my December album, story number 2. I am taking a page out of Allie Edwards' December Daily. She is every day showing her stories and showing her pages. It's fabulous. I'm learning so much. But she just reiterated what I am doing and thinking. And it's not about trying to find the story in the day and make sure I'm telling it. I actually have a list of stories I want to tell. And this story today, I digress. If you have not already seen my intro page and my family page, then I will link that below. Scrapbook.com graciously asked me to be part of their holiday inspiration series. And so I have recorded a video processing that out on their channel. So link below. Today, we're going to talk about story number 2. I have already cut out my number 2 from, let me see here, they're called Festive numbers. Also from scrapbook.com. Love these numbers. They just have a little bit of attitude. And you know, we all need a little bit of attitude. So for right now, anyway, I'm using those for my numbers. But the story here was about our tree hunt. And this is a brand new tradition this year in our album, or in our season, is hunting for a tree, because we never have gone to the forest before and actually cut down a tree. And this time it was just 4 of us. Our family has made many changes this year, and the adults are off doing their own thing, or they're married, or they've moved away, or whatever. So it was 4 of us this year who did the tree tradition, and it's still just as important as if it were all 7 of us. Anyway, you can see here, I'm basically going to end up doing a double page spread. So I wanted to kind of talk you through here a little bit of what's going to happen. I have on the back of the family photo page, number 1, I have printed almost a 6x8 size, good size photo, right? And the only thing I'm going to put on here is the number 2. And so this is going to basically become a double page spread. And while there are pocket pages in my album waiting to be used, I really do like to, I like to still do a lot of out of the pocket scrapbooking. So that's what's going to happen today. I want to actually add more photos from that day, and I'm going to put them in a pocket page, and maybe I'll share that with you in the next video of one of my stories. So it's basically going to become this double page spread, which I just don't do a lot of those anymore. And so I'm super excited. So I've already cut out my next piece of cardstock, and it's about 7 inches wide, 8 inches tall. This is scrapbook.com 6x8 2-ring album. I used this last year, and last year's was the gold dot, super fun, really sweet. This year I just went clean with just white. I've never done just a white album before, so that's kind of fun, a little different. Shaking it up here, living on the wild side is what we're doing. So inside here, as I work on story 2, it's going to be double page spread. I already cut out my cardstock, and a couple things we're going to do here, and I'll process this through at a little bit quicker level, because I want you to be able to get an idea of maybe some ideas that I have here, but I don't want to drag this out way too long. So I'm probably going to do a little bit of texture paste design work on the background. I do know I went ahead and printed using a template from Paisley Press, and it's kind of like a photo booth photo template. I don't even know if it's still available anymore. I've had it quite some time, but I went ahead and printed that out with several photos from our adventure. And I also am super keen right now on die cuts. So you see me use the nested die in several different ways. And today it's coming back to play with us, and it's going to be popped up right here in this corner. I do know that. I cut it out from Vicki Boutin's Warm Wishes paper. And so I've already dug into the 12x12 pretty good. It's a hot mess, but that just means it's very well loved. And hey, don't forget to keep your cutoffs. You never know how this might work into something else. So find a way to save those. So that's going to go there. I also know I'm going to use these word dies. Super fun. Now, I didn't keep it, but obviously with this word die, the letters also cut out. So it's kind of a 2-for-1, right? You have this outline jolly, which I love, but it can also find the letters inside can be useful, or pop them back inside. I've been seeing that used an awful lot, and it's super cute too. One of my most favorite dies right now is the Sprigs dies. I think this top one right here is just very festive looking. I just couldn't help wanting to have a festive little cut. So I know that's going to go here. Now, another thing I've already done, because I was just playing around with ideas, and I think these are from last year, and they are called Wordfetti Holly Jolly, and I love that whole round vibe, right? And so on this day, it's beautiful. This could be used all year round, obviously. I went ahead and stamped that. Now, I used a stamping platform because I'm not a huge fan of like the more solid stamped images with all that surface. It takes a little bit to make sure your paper gets inked up really well. So a stamp platform is super useful for that. And I will link that as well. I've been using one for quite some time now. I don't use it all the time, but it definitely I find it needful at times. I wanted to have that in here as well. And then I wanted to share with you, by the way, I cut this out with a 1-inch paper punch, 1-inch circle paper punch. I know I'm also going to be using, oh my gosh, these Wordfetti. I love them so much. So that's kind of the direction in which this is going. So I am going to do something I don't do that often, and that is this. I am going to do a voiceover. So I'm going to speed this up in my process, but I'm going to talk you through what I'm doing at the same time. So thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Okay, so you can see I've dropped that 2 on my photo, and now I moved on to the second part of the page spread and just adding in texture modeling paste on top of this tree stencil. My intent is not to cover the entire surface of the stencil. I'm just giving myself a little bit of embellishment and some background, and I love to add just little parts of stencils to projects very often. Now that I'm adhering the photo strip over the texture paste, I thought it was pretty important to go ahead and use a really strong adhesive. I've stapled the sprig to my nested tree die, and I'm going to also float that holly with some smart glue so it is adhered a little bit to the tree and a little bit to the corner of the photo strip, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out next. And so here I'm going to, I grabbed that wonderful, my favorite December Wordfetti, and I'm going to create a journal strip, and that's just stamping a word phrase on some cardstock and then trimming it up, think definition stickers. And then I'm going to add an 1/8-inch wide piece of foam double-sided tape so that it too can float above the jolly. I'm pretty happy how that turned out. I decided to go ahead and demonstrate the Misti stamp platform for you in case you're not familiar with this. And again, I don't use this all the time because I do like to freehand my stamps, but because that on this day stamp had so much surface to it, I knew I needed a little bit of help. So I'm going to ink the stamp and give it a pass and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to do it again. And just this instance, I only had to do it twice. I'm adding that tradition stamp to my page, and then I decided last minute to add in a handmade tab. So just trimmed up piece of paper, piece of scrap paper. It's going to kind of talk to that jolly paper a little bit. Then I wanted to notch it up as normal, and then here we go with the world's most ancient mini stapler, and we're going to staple that in place here. And for the most part, I am pretty happy with how this page has turned out. As we wrap this up, something I really love about this We Are Memory Keepers multi-punch is the 1/4-inch punch, which is just a better fit for these ring binders. And so I wanted to do that here and then show you what the page looked like now that it's in the album. So again, out of the pocket. And what I plan on doing is, this page is just going to keep going on and on. I have quite a bit of journaling that's going to go on this page. And then over here, I'm going to add in some pocket pages with some more of the photos. Just because I can. It's just, your story doesn't have to fit in 2 pages. It doesn't have to fit in 1 page. Your story, if you deem fit, can fit into 4 pages. I'm just loving this whole idea. I'm pretty happy with how simple this page is, but it definitely tells this wonderful story of our tree hunt. So thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions about anything, please let me hear from you. I'm happy to answer them. And I will see you in the next video.